Welcome to the Manders Mindset Podcast. Here you'll find both monologue and interviews of entrepreneurs, coaches, healers, and a variety of other people, where your host Amanda Russo will discuss her own mindset and perspective and her guest mindset and perspective on the world around us. Manders and her guests will help explain to you how shifting your mindset will shift your life.
Welcome to Manders Mindset. I'm your host, Amanda Russo, aka The Breathing Goddess. And I'm here today with Paula, also known as P, Talk Shit with P. If you heard episode 30, my episode dedicated to PodFest, you heard me reference Paula. She's the host of the podcast Talk Shit with P, and I'm here with P today.
Thank you so much, Mandy. Amanda, Mandy's Mindset, for having me. Even though it was a last minute shit, I'm very honored to be here and to talk some shit with you and get our mindset on check, okay?
I am so down for that. That sounds perfect.
But before we start, can we just have a moment of silence because we lost somebody very special to us? So for all of you who don't know, we lost our founding member of PodFest, and Lee Silverstein. He passed away yesterday, cancer. As much as we knew he was in hospice and we were expecting it, it still hits hard. So a moment of silence for him because he was a pioneer, he was a legend, he was an incredible human being who motivated, inspired, and if you all had it from Amanda, she had like a literally not more than 5-minute conversation with a guy and it changed his life. So,
Yes, he was a wonderful, wonderful man. I referenced him as well in the PodFest episode.
all right. Lee, we fucking love you. Thank you for being a part of our family. And we are fucking going to miss you. But with everything that you did and showed and inspired and motivated, we are going to keep living through your name and making you proud down here. Because even today I could have canceled my shit, but I'm pretty sure Lee would have been like, why the fuck are you canceling that shit? Go ahead and do your shit. So
That is very, very true. Lee, we love you, and we will be talking about you for the rest of our lives. I even fortunately had the opportunity to say that to Lee. Special thank you to Shannon because she recorded a live YouTube StreamYard for Lee before he passed, not even a week ago. And so many of us got to share our love, appreciation, and give Lee his flowers before. And I have so much gratitude in my heart for that. And I know that Lee left this world having gratitude because of that as well. You could see it in his face.
we're gonna keep calling you Spunky because of that. And look at that. If you wouldn't have showed up at the 10th year anniversary, you wouldn't have met Lee, you wouldn't have met me. So the universe aligned for this to happen and for Lee to touch your heart and to let you know, keep being as spunky as you are, because the world needs some spunky in it, you know?
Thank you, P. Thank you, P. Yes. So even if you didn't listen to the PodFest episode, I do want to give a little refresher on the spunky story. I was all over the place trying to do everything, like those of you who know me personally know I do. And I had my phone charging in this one area while I was over in a different area waiting to record a podcast episode on somebody else's show. And I was running back and forth because I'm like, my phone's far, I can't see it. I want to make sure like nobody takes it or whatever. Because like I'm in a hotel with even other people outside of PodFest people. So I've had 2 phones already stolen in my life. So I was a little extra cautious. Backstory for you, P. Anywho, then I met Shannon and she was like, I just want to let you know we're going to be gathering over here. One of our dear friends, we weren't even sure was able to make it because he's really sick with cancer, is going to be here. Like, you can stay, but we just want to let you know, like, there's going to be a bunch of people. And I was like, I want to meet him. That's amazing. And, me. Anyways, then she realized that we have already talked on Facebook. I didn't even know. I didn't recognize her. But then we realized it, and we connected in person also because of Lee. Even though I had met her on Facebook, who knows if I would have met her in person. Another backstory for you. But the spunky story, I don't even know what I said, but I said something spunky and sassy like I usually do. And Lee said to me, "You're spunky. I like you." And I laughed and I thanked him. I introduced myself, and he said, "Don't ever change your spunk." And I said, "Thank you, Lee. I never will." And in that short conversation, this genuine man changed my life. Anything else you want to add to about Lee?
I love the fact that whenever he sees me, a lot of people call me, talk shit with me, P. But Lee just be like, Paula. and when he calls my name, he just calls with such excitement that I'm like, first I'm shocked because at PodFest nobody ever calls me by Paula. Like, it's either talk shit with P or P. Like, oh, shit talker. Like, it has never been Paula. So I think going to next year's PodFest and not having that one person who calls you by Paula. And I don't want to keep talking about it because I'm going to cry and we're going to get into all other things. So, Lee, thank you. I know we said all we had to say, and for you're going to listen to this, you can catch a snippet of it, which I'm going to post on Talkshare with me. But I'm glad I got to tell you how much you mean to me in your face. I'm glad I got to wish you good, send you off with your flowers. And I'm glad that they're doing a barrier for you in Atlanta so I can actually be there and send you off one last time. But I see my tears coming down, so I am going to end it at that. To Lee.
Oh, that made me cry. So, how did you first get into podcasting, P?
Oh my fucking God. Because Amanda is crying, so let me try to make her laugh a little bit. Because I've been crying the whole day. I called her when I was crying in the morning. So, it's been a day of crying and laughing and being happy and sad. Like, it's a roller coaster of emotions. But, so, when we were almost about to do this and I told you my ex is calling.
Yeah.
So I started podcasting because of that particular ex. And,
Okay.
it was during 2020 and it was COVID. And are you okay, baby? Do you need a moment? Yeah, come here. Come here. Okay, I need to say some shit to make Amanda laugh. Amanda, you know how you do stupid shit and then when I tell you that's stupid and you say, "You're right, Paula." You're right. Okay, there, we got Amanda back. There we go. Okay. Man, I needed to get you back to your funk, okay? Because this is your...
I don't do stupid shit.
I mean, she kind of does, yeah. And if you don't believe it, just come to me. I have voicemail.
You're not going to share those. She is not sharing those.
You never know how much, depending on how much your listeners really want to see it. I'm jobless. So if we're talking money, you never know how much I can sell from Amanda's conversations and voice notes. So So if you got the dollars and you really want to know, hit me up. I have the goodies for you.
She's not gonna
I have
sell
the
them.
spunk. I have the spunk for you.
Mander's spunk.
I think you should start like a live show, Amanda Spunk. Spunky Amanda. Spunky Mandy. Or something. I don't know, but it kind of goes. But anyway, so my podcast started in 2020 when I was depressed, and I have battled depression before, and I even started a movement called Life with Paula when I was going through it, where I started opening up my about my depression and everything. But when COVID hit, right, this wasn't a normal depression because it wasn't just me dealing with personal shit. It was first the entire world was dealing with the same thing. Everybody was losing their jobs. Everybody was losing their minds. Everybody was in a position where they didn't know what the fuck is going to happen tomorrow. And then me being from Africa in Tanzania, where our president didn't care about it, and my dad had health issues, and with COVID not taking the precautions they needed, so I became extra worried about that. And then there was the Asian hate. I went to school in Malaysia for 5 years. I stayed there, and so I still had friends who I considered family in Asia. So that was also another issue. And then I just broken up with my boyfriend at that time just like 2 weeks ago. And he has two beautiful kids who I really love. So I was in this position like, do I check on him? But if I check on him, will he think I want him back? But I'm also concerned about his kids, and I'm genuinely concerned about him because he meant something to me. Like, there was love there. So it was just a dark moment for me. So I wasn't looking at the news. All I was doing is drinking and smoking so much to the extent that I saw myself go in a dark hole that I wasn't sure I would be able to pull myself out of. It was like, I don't know if I'm gonna come out of this. Like, I wake up, the first thing is I want a beer, but it wasn't just beer. I was drinking beer, hard liquor, smoking, and anything to keep my mind out of it. But funny enough, if you're a cancer, you can relate. I'm an overthinker and I'm a cancer. The more I drank, the more I got in my thoughts. So I smoked weed to put me to bed, but I drink as well. So it was just like, and I can consume that normally without being too much, but I knew what I was consuming at that time was too fucking much. So one day while I was drunk and high, I decided to send an email to my ex-boyfriend. And once I sent the email, I went on Twitter. That was when Twitter was not X, when Elon Musk had embodied, when Twitter was still tweeting and twittering. And I went and I started talking about the email I just wrote. And one of my friends, who until today I consider my podcast manager, even because she kind of helped me through bringing this up. So I went and I wrote the email, and then she saw it and she came to me. And we used to live in the same building, like same compound, but different buildings. The pool area was closed, but the barbecue area was open, but they removed some seats to make it sociable. So we would always meet down there just so that we can eat together and be together without being together, if that makes sense. So she told me, she was like, I think you should start a podcast. I was like, why? She's like, I know you don't know this because I'm not a Twitter person, but I follow you on Twitter and I read your shit. You got some shit to say. And I was like, wow, I do got some shit to say. And I was like, what are we going to call it? And she was like, how about Talk Shit with You? I was like, I kind of dig that, I like talking, I talk shit, and I am P. So that's how my podcast came about. And now, once I got that, the next day, I literally woke up in the morning and showered. I did not go to the fridge to get a beer. I showered and I went on Amazon and I started researching desks and I didn't have a laptop. I called my brother and my dad, who they're the two people who hold me accountable and anything. My brother was like, give me a date on when this podcast is going to come out because I'm going to hold you accountable. I gave him a date. My dad was like, what do you need? I was like, I need a laptop. I need this. And I called my friends who create a logo. So we changed this logo 2 years ago. We had an older logo. He created a logo for me. So I went into, and it's funny, as soon as you make your mind up into doing something, as soon as I walked onto Instagram, there were all those ads of how to be a podcaster, whatever. So I took and there were free courses. During COVID, there were so many free courses, like constantly. So I took a free course with this lady in Melbourne, Australia. We still connect until today. She was supposed to be on my podcast season last year because I was like, I started a podcast right after your course. And she was like, oh my God. So I took a course, I started recording, and in my head was like, what do I need people to hear? And I wanted it. I was like, yo, podcasting saved my mental health because if she hadn't suggested podcasting, I would have woke up the next day and continued drinking, which I still drink, but I drink minimalist compared to what I was drinking in COVID. Like there are different ways to drink. So I was like, podcasting really saved my mental health. So I wanted to create a safe space for people to have those conversations. So my first episode was one of the rawest, realest episodes. I told everybody what I was struggling with financially, mentally, spiritually, everything. And being in your 30s and telling people on the internet you live paycheck to paycheck and you're doing this, nobody wants to agree to that. Nobody wants to. And it's funny because recording it was the easiest part, but hitting publish was like, oh my God, people are going to hear this. People are going to judge. And even when I hit publish, I pick select who I posted it to. I did not do a podcast launch. I did not do a countdown. I did not do anything. My brother was proud because the episode was published 1 week before the date I actually gave him. So that was something. But it was the feedback that came back to me. In my head, I thought people were gonna crucify the hell out of me. But people started opening up and talking about, oh my God, I'm also struggling with this. Oh my God, you're not alone. Oh my God, people wanted to help me financially, emotionally. And I was like, I want to create a safe space for people to share their shit. Because I felt safe enough to share my shit in my platform. And look at, those who matter are gonna be by you. And those who are not gonna be by you, they don't fucking matter.
Preach.
And I think that's one thing we keep forgetting. So, and from there on, I've done two chakuchas. I've done a panel discussion. I've moderated a panel. I'm a moderator in a clubhouse session. I've won a Guinness World Record. I've attended a podcast wedding.
Hold the phone. You are going way too fast at this point. Let's take a pause. I'm very impressed, but let's take a pause. Let's take a breath. Okay. I want to backtrack, and then we'll go move.
I mean, I'm a podcaster. We can talk.
I know, but we're gonna backtrack, podcaster P. Okay. So you made the comment about how you started the podcast, and you said something along the lines of, once you make up your mind, you're going to do it.
Hell fucking yeah. And the thing is, anytime I make up if I want to do something that I really want to do, I call my younger brother. Shout out to Alvin Mulamola. He's my baby brother, but I call him the sanity to my insanity. He's younger than me, but he's much more responsible than me. He takes care of me. He holds me accountable. He calls me out on my bullshit. He literally does anything. So whenever I want to do something that I really want to do, I tell him, because he's going to hold me accountable. So there's always that thing, like, if you really want to do something, because we can get in our own way, we can procrastinate the hell out of that shit. We can act, imposter syndrome is there. So if you have that one person who holds you accountable, you're going to do the fucking thing. So that's why whenever I want to do something big, I tell my brother, even small. But if I really want to do it, I tell my brother, and he will literally come up. Even the first year of my podcasting, like the first few episodes, he would listen to every episode and send me a voice note with all the constructive criticism. You did this. Stop doing that. You did this. And eventually they went from 3 minutes to 2 minutes to 1 minute to 30 minutes to no. And the day I used to hate seeing, as soon as my podcast went out and I would find these WhatsApp messages, this voicemail, I already knew what was coming. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm not ready to listen to this. But then when they stopped coming, I was like, yo, what happened? I was like, well, my job is done. You're literally doing the damn thing. Like, I don't have anything else to say.
A round of applause for you, P. That's amazing. That is amazing.
So always find a person to hold who. Don't go to your best friend or anything, because friends have a hard time holding each other accountable unless you really have that strict friend. If you have a friend like me, I'm gonna fucking hold you accountable. I'm gonna call you out on your bullshit. Amanda knows. Sometimes I bring that up to her and I'm like, I mean, I love you, but damn, babe. So find that friend who has no filter, who will actually do the work. Don't go to a friend or a family member who will be like, oh, today was your release day. You didn't do shit. Yeah, I didn't. Oh, okay. Tomorrow is another day. That's not an accountable buddy. You need a person who's going to be strict on you on that. And accept constructive criticism. Because trust me, I hate it too sometimes. Nobody loves it. But in order to grow and progress, you need it.
I love that. I completely agree. You hit the nail on the head with that one. So, you were saying when you were talking about your podcasting journey, so much though, bro, you kept going. I could barely keep up. I'm like, P, let's settle. You were.
I mean, you asked about my journey. I shared about my journey.
You did. You sure did. So you were starting to say you're a panelist, you have a show on Clubhouse. What were some of these other phenomenal accomplishments you were listing? I lost track.
Okay, so I've done 6 case studies at PodFest Global. I have done 2 Pechakuchas at PodFest. I've done a panel at PodFest. I've moderated a panel at Afros and Audios. I have volunteered. I have won a Community Hero Award. I have won a Guinness World Record for PodFest twice. I have moderated Community Connections, which was a room we started during COVID, and it was through PodFest. It kind of died off after life came back because people got busy. But I moderated that room. We used to have Sunday brunch days and all this amazing shit. And now I moderate Friday nights at a podcasting room. And that goes on from 9 to 10 p.m. and we get funky. But apart from that, it's the collaborations like with you. It's the stories that I keep hearing. It's the inspirations. It's meeting people like Lee. It's belonging in communities. It's being part of that. Speaking of that, I'm also one of the hosts for Atlanta Pod Meetups, which I am hosting the one that's happening on February 29th in Atlanta. So if you're in Atlanta, February 29th, Homebreeze, 6 to 9 p.m. Come have fun, come meet people, come mingle, come play some games. But it's all these opportunities you get. I wrote a book, which is hopefully, I'm hoping it comes out by May this year for mental health, or June during my birthday. But it's all these things that came about all because of PodFest. Oh, speaking of that, Chris said I am officially the mayor of PodFest. So, I became, you grow up and you never think you'll be a mayor of anything. And here I am a fucking mayor of PodFest. So it's all these things that come up with, I just decided to start a podcast and show authentically me in communities that I wanted to show up for. And as much as I showed up, they poured on me, and here we are. I look at, and I started my podcast in 2020, like we're going to be 4 years in April. But when I look back at the things I was able to do and accomplish, I've always wanted to write a book. I never did. I have always, like, all these things, but they're coming into reality just because I hit publish on an episode and I kept being consistent with it.
That is so beautiful. That's making me cry now too. P.
I wasn't sure if it was for me
No,
or
it
for
is
Lee.
for you. Oh my God. And then as I started to cry, my mind also started to think, Lee would love that. That's P's backstory. I'm sorry. Yo, it's been a day. I've cried a lot today.
It has been a day. And the fact that we're still showing
it's
up
ironic
and doing this damn thing, it's incredible, because I almost wanted to give up doing my lives today or doing anything, but then again, you look at the other side. Lee started a podcast to inspire and motivate cancer people, and he did it regularly. Even in his last days, he still showed up, even though he knew he was tired. He showed up to PodFest. He showed up to that. Who are we not to show up, even though we're, because I'm pretty sure I would be up there and be like, that's not what I did for you to do that. Like, I want you to and I feel like, I know Lee wants us to celebrate him, but that's, like, however much you're prepared for it, you can't help the sadness. Like, we all knew this was gonna happen, but sadly we didn't expect it to be as soon. Like, when we did that on Friday, I thought we still had a few more months, So for it to happen so soon, it's like, but it's also a blessing, because in my head, I'm like, he really was waiting for that moment for us to shower him. He thought he was doing a last interview with a woman, an amazing, incredible human being who he kept inspiring and telling, you need to start your show, you need to start your show. And he ended up finding out there was more to that than just that. So I think after that, he was ready, and I'm glad he's gone, because he doesn't get to suffer anymore, because that's a lot of pain for a person to go through. And we're all gonna die, but it's still fucking sad. It's still fucking sad, and we're still gonna cry, but we're still gonna celebrate him. So it's okay to cry.
Thank you, P. No, but
just don't let it stop doing the shit. So I'm glad you still showed up today. I'm glad I still showed up, as much as we wanted to just be in our bed and fucking cry and get high. Because no offense, I really wanted to get high and just cry and be left alone the whole day.
I know. I did not. I even thought about canceling on you, if I'm being honest. But I thought about, like, Lee would have told me, like, you come on, Spunky. Like, so here we are.
Here we are. So let me ask you this. I'm big on showing up authentically, and what does, and I know Pali, he said, continue being spunky. Don't spunk down for nobody. So what's showing up authentically for you?
showing my sass that you've seen plenty of. I don't have much, I'm afraid to say. I swear plenty. That's not everybody's cup of tea, but
Have you
I'm
met
very
me?
loud. That's not everybody.
Have you met me?
Yes, yes. But
I think
I'll
I
give.
think small
Here's an example of
people.
something I didn't share about at PodFest. There was a specific presentation I was making sure I was early to, and I was front row because of who was speaking. That's a whole nother story. Anyways, but
I'm gonna be on a roundtable discussion with him for speaker session next Thursday.
I don't know what you're saying. Anyways,
The person you're talking about, who you went to see on the stage, and the story you're about to share, that person who was on the stage, I'm gonna be with him on a
who
roundtable
are you
for speaker
referring
session
to?
on next.
Oh, I'm
Gordon.
not referring to Gordon.
I thought it was Gordon's session you went where they chased.
Can
Oh, never
can you
mind. It was.
were interrupting me,
Oh shit! Oh shit!
bitch? I am telling her story. Anywho,
It was the big D. Okay, go
shut
ahead.
up. I'm editing that out. Okay. Anyways, there was a specific person speaking that I was not going to be late to. I was actually going to be like 40 minutes early. Okay, that's irrelevant. However, I walked in, it was in this main big room. Well, I walked in one of these side doors and I just snuck my way in. There were volunteers apparently making sure nobody got in. I did not realize that. Then Dave Hardy came in shortly after me and he's like, "Hey, you're not allowed to be in here yet." And I said, "Dave, I volunteered here all day Wednesday. I am practically the president of PodFest by now. I know everybody. I am not leaving." And he says to me, "I'm going to get in trouble." I said, "They can come talk to me. I don't care. I'll say this to anybody. Who's got something to say? I'm not leaving." And I didn't leave. And I was front row. I got plenty of pictures of the speaker standing up on stage with.
Of course you did.
Anywho, that's an example of myself showing up authentically. I was not leaving. I didn't care what Dave said to me. No offense, Dave, if you ever hear this, but yeah, I would have said that to anybody. I'm not leaving. If I was volunteering right now, I'd be in here, and I was volunteering just the other day. So pretend I'm still volunteering, and I'm helping. I'm helping by making sure the speaker is prepared. There we go.
Okay, Miss Funky.
So that's my example of me showing up authentically. What is you showing up?
I feel like short, small women have this nudge to be very defensive and quick to like jump on, because we are constantly being told we're so small and tiny, we can't fight back, so we always have to prove ourselves.
Maybe it is that. But no, there was a long line, and I kind of thought it was a line. I wasn't sure if it was a line when we were at the tiki Hawaiian party, and yes. Anyways, I just like I ducked down and snuck my way through, and I cut like a long line of people, and I thought it was you who told me, "Oh, everything's still free. Everything's free up there." Well, it wasn't free by the time I got up there, and I'm like, "Shit, I don't have my debit card." Well, so I just cut like at least 5 guys because my little self just went around. Well, one of the guys that I cut was like, "Don't worry, just add whatever she wants to my bill. I'll pay it too." Thank you.
I mean, it's PodFest. I've never paid for shit at PodFest. Like, you just gotta know the right people and hang around the right people. I don't pay for shit at PodFest.
Okay, well, I cut a line of people.
Nobody cares. It was the party. And half of the time, if you have noticed the lines, people on the line, but they were busy talking to people on the line instead of concentrating on where the fucking line was going. And if somebody said free shit for 30 minutes and you are busy standing on the line talking, clearly you don't want the free shit. So let us who want the free shit to go ahead, okay? I'm just saying.
And
I'm a
Pete
broke
is
ass
talking
bitch, so
her shit.
I ain't gonna pay.
Pete's talking her shit.
This is gonna be a very funny episode.
Oh, P. P.
What you got for me, girl?
What I got for you? You want to know what I got for you? I got a lot of things for you.
Is this episode really coming out? Because you don't look like you're in your senses to have this episode
Why?
out. No, good thing we're not live and you can edit this, but are you okay, girl?
Yeah, why you ask me that?
Just curious. No, sometimes we say we're okay, but mentally we really are not. So I'm just checking in.
No, I am.
Because it's been a lot of shit in the last few days.
It's okay though. Things are working.
All right, so what's next?
How do you stay sane in this crazy world?
Oh my God, fast prayers. I pray to God every day. And today morning I didn't pray because I got woke up by the call of Lee passing away. And I was on the call with Shannon for almost 2 hours. You remember when you texted me and I was like, I'll call you. I can't text you. I was on a call with her. Then I called you right after I got off the shower as I was about to get into my meeting. Then it was meeting after recording after. So, but if I don't do it early in the morning, I make sure before midnight I go do that because I have the Bible up and I do that every day and you get a strike once you do it. So kind of I'm like, I gotta keep my strike going on. So that's what's holds me accountable into praying. And I know right after this, I'm gonna go outside and smoke my blunt while I pray to God. That's how I pray to God, like, and, also I have a very select people, like I have a bunch of people I know, friends and family, but I have a very select people who I go to with my shit, who I know they're gonna hold me accountable. There's nothing I hate like going to talk to friends and they just brush you off or let you tell you all the good things you wanna hear. I want to go to friends who are gonna, if I'm wrong, hold me accountable. If I'm right, tell me how it is. If I'm being a bitch, tell me straight up. So I have very select friends of that. And have you all met my brother Alvin? Like that boy is the sanity to my insanity. Like, and my dad. My dad, cause I am blessed with a father who I can go to with anything and everything. And he might get disappointed. He might be mad at me, but he will be there and help me figure it out or figure it out for me. So, plus also, I'm a person who walks a lot. I like, uh, again, I don't know if it's because I don't drive or don't own a car, but I walk a lot. But this was also since when I was back home and stuff. So I would take walks. I would go outside, fresh air. Fresh air helps keep my sanity because sometimes I'm locked up in this environment. I can stay in here for like a week and not go out. So when I see my sanity going crazy, I just go outside to nature and walk. And you don't need to go on a hike or anything. Sometimes walking around your compound, your neighborhood, just back and forth, up and down the stairs. It's kind of an exercise, but it also helps relaxes your mind. So I do that. And weirdly, creating content or working on brand ideas and merchandise helps keep me sane. But then once I like it and I want to buy it and I don't have the money, that brings me back to my insanity. But creating always keeps me sane, and I like trash TV. I can sometimes I allow myself to have those days where I will literally stay in bed the whole day and order Uber Eats. Uber Eats is one of my sanity. I would order Uber Eats and just watch trash TV. Be it Love is Blind, Love at First Sight, Married at First Sight, Housewives, Love and Hip Hop. Anything that's trash, I'm watching. And it always gives me ideas of content creating or podcast episodes because they be so stupid and fucked up that I'm like, wait, you think that and they think that and you think that? I need to bring this to life.
Okay.
And photo shoots. I like photo shoots. So if you're a photographer and like to build up your bio, because I hate paying for photo shoots, you're charged too much and I love too many photo shoots. But if you're looking for a model to pose free for you, I do. And even boudoir. So hit me up.
Okay. You heard it. You heard it straight. So I am wondering, how do you avoid disappointment in your life?
Expectations is a bitch. I'm sorry.
P. We need to start that over. I was trying to do this good.
So, because of the person I am, right? I am a giving, I am a loving, I am a thoughtful person. I always do things out of the good and stuff, but I always be like, if I did this, they can easily do that, right? It can't be that hard. But then apparently it's that hard for some motherfuckers. So I learned a long time, not a long time, but eventually I learned to give without expectations, even though I used to give out without expectations. But if I'm constantly giving on random, I feel like on my birthday or Christmas, I should have expectations, right? But that's what got me to understand that nobody thinks like you do. Nobody's gonna work like you do. So I stopped waiting for people to celebrate me on my birthday. I stopped waiting. If I wanna do it, because I used to be the girl who also waited on people to do shit, but then I'll get disappointed all the time because of how it would be done. So I was like, fuck it. I'm okay with doing shit solo. So I started doing shit solo. I started planning my own birthday. Like, you want to celebrate me? You're going to have to come into my plan. I'm doing this on this day. I'm doing this on this day. I'm doing this. You want to come? Come. You don't want to come? Peace out. Like, but, I think most of us have expectations on certain people because we hold them dear to us because we know how much we would go above and beyond for them, right? But then you also gotta realize people don't think like you do, all right? So just because I think, oh my God, I did this, or if somebody did this for me, I would do this for them. That's not how they're thinking. They're just gonna think, oh my God, this is such thoughtful. Thank you for remembering me. Okay, bye. And you're like, what the fuck?
You know what that makes me?
Sorry. So I stopped having that mentality. And it's funny because we're on Manda's mindset. I switched my mindset. I stopped having expectations on anybody apart from my dad because he has responsibility for me. He's the only person on this earth. Because even my mom, I don't hold her responsible because she hasn't been responsible for me in whatever. She'll do whatever she can whenever she can. I stopped holding that against her. I just had to get used to, like, this is your mom. and this is how she partakes. But my dad, oh, that's the only man I hold 100% accountable in my expectations. And I feel like if they're not mattered or accounted for, I can legit go hard on him because you brought me into this life. I am your fucking responsibility. So you gotta do the damn shit. But anybody else, they're not responsible for you. And once we get that mentality, we feel it. So I started realizing that voicing your opinion is way better than waiting and expecting somebody to act the way you want to. And even though that can be tough for me sometimes to tell somebody, oh, this is what I want, because it gets exhausting to constantly tell people what you want, how you want it, when you want it, how you expect it and shit. Because most of us want that, like, man, I wish for once you would get it and just do the damn thing. But sadly, that's the reality of life. You gotta tell people what you expect, and then if they don't build up to it, fucking leave or just do the damn shit for yourself and keep them around.
You know what I thought of when you said no one thinks like you, and this has never come to me before, so I am so glad you said that, even though I've heard people say before, nobody thinks like you. No one has the same mindset that you do. Even if,
Or your heart, or your soul. We all have hearts and souls, but they differ.
yes, even the people,
To some people, the bare minimum is okay for them, and to some people, going above and beyond is what's better
and
for
it doesn't
them.
matter who the person is, even if you're a twin, even if it's your sibling, your spouse, your parent, they're not the same as you. They don't have the same heart, the same mindset, the same soul, all the same beliefs, values. I could
I
go on.
mean,
Sorry.
my mom gave birth to me, and not to put her on a blast, but she does the bare minimum. But when she comes through, I'm happy because I'm not used to it. I wasn't expecting it, and I get excited. But because my dad put that standard, so I'ma hold you to that standard. So I think it also goes with when you meet people. If you're gonna give me 100, I'm fucking expecting 100. If you're gonna give me 50, I'm fucking expecting 50. If you're gonna give me lower than 50, I'm fucking with you.
Preach. Facts, Pete, facts. But I completely agree with that. It's what they set the bar to. And I'm opposite with you in that I have very high expectations of my mom and not many whatsoever of my father.
But that's the thing. You got raised by your mom, and your relationship with your dad. I got raised by both of them, but my dad was more active in my life than my mom. And when they got divorced, my mom picked the son and dealt with the son. My dad got me and dealt with me, even though my dad still dealt with his son. And that's why sometimes I think me and my brother get bad-headed, because when my brother is going in with my dad, he always involves me, which has nothing to do with me, because when I go in on my mom, I don't bring him up, even though I know, like, they literally pick sides. But my dad was the breadwinner, like, he made money, and he still took care of me and my brother. My mom did his share, but when my mom did his share, she only did it to my brother, not to me. So when I started seeing that, who am I supposed to argue with? I just realized, like, you know what? That's what you want to do. And again, this is an African woman. You are not going to tell her, let's have heart to heart. Let's talk about where you disappointed me. Compared to my dad, me and my dad can have any conversation. I can literally call my dad and be like, you disappointed me. I was expecting better of you. This and this. And he will apologize. Or he might get mad and hang up on me. And then the next day he'll call me and he'll apologize and we'll walk away. My mom just shuts you down like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Forget that. But I'm not saying she hasn't come through for me for certain days, but the reality of our relationship, that's where it is. So I don't have any expectations because I already know. But with my dad, because of where it is, I fucking have expectations. Like, you gotta bring it on. 100.
No, I completely agree. I'm someone who's struggled a lot in a lot of my relationships, from family, friendship, romantic, you name it, because I have always tended to go 100, and I would have the expectation that everybody that's close to me and everybody that I would go 100 for would go 100 for me. And a lot of times that has not been the case. And everything you said just even made me think of one of the 27 things I mentioned in my birthday episode, 27 things I learned in 27 years. If you haven't heard that, that's a good one. Second most popular downloaded episode.
Oh my god, it's funny. You have 27 and 27. I have 34 and 34. Look at it.
Ooh, okay. But yeah, that was something that my pod told me. Like, you can't have the best way to avoid disappointment is to not have expectations of anybody else or anything that you are going to experience. If you're going to some event, don't go into it with any expectations whatsoever, and you'll have a better experience because you won't be disappointed.
Oh no, if I'm going to an event, depending on how much I paid, if it's a free event, I'm not expecting shit.
Yeah.
But
No,
if I paid a VIP top
yeah.
dollar, I'm fucking expecting some good shit, and I'm gonna talk shit about your event if I'm not getting worth my money. I'm
No, I
sorry.
get that.
Event is a whole other thing. Like, don't get me
I didn't
wrong.
mean like an event like that. I meant like a friend invites you to
Life events, life
more
events.
so life events. Because honestly, I've shared little tidbits of this, but I used to be years ago, long time ago, someone who complained about the little things. So that's why now I try to emphasize not complaining about the little things, because a lot of them don't matter. Small little things. That's why even the event is what I meant. Like, because there was little things here and there that I would go to that a friend would invite me to, and poking was inconvenient, and I'd be bitching about it. And Mandas, is it going to matter in 5 years' time? No. So let's shut up. Yeah. That's more so what I meant by like event per se. A birthday party or a
That's true.
fire that a friend's invited me to. I'm like, oh, this place is so far, blah, blah.
So true, but also let's make it clear, right? Expectation goes in different ways. There's certain people you should have expectations on. If I'm dating you and it's Valentine's Day, I'm expecting shit, and not necessarily expensive dinner reservation, not expensive flowers, even a one rose chocolate. I'm expecting that. If I paid VIP, I'm expecting VIP service. If I paid first class, I'm expecting priority service because that's what first class gets. So there's certain things you should have expectations because they come with expectations. But when it's friends or family or school or community service or free shit, you can't have expectation on that. You just have to go with a clear mind. So there's levels to expectations. And speaking of, Valentine's was just Wednesday. So I'm not gonna mention this person because I don't want to get in trouble. But they called me early morning on Wednesday, and they're all the way back in Africa, which is 7 hours, 8 hours difference. So if you're calling me at 2, it's already Valentine's and something. And they're like, oh my God, help me get shit and shit because I have a lot of friends who work in that. And I was like, I'm sorry, it's Valentine's Day. If it was a birthday, I could get people to deliver shit because it's not a busy day. Valentine's, especially if you're going to delivery places, they have a cut-off time because they have to prepare that shit and make sure all of the orders get delivered on time, right? So they're not going to accept last-minute orders. Compared if it's a birthday or an anniversary, you can order that shit anytime, even if you forgot. So I asked them, I was like, how did it go? Were you able to find something? And they're like, oh no. I was like, how did they take it? Bad. I need to make up. I'm like, as you should. Cause if you're in a relationship, whether your partner says they don't like Valentine or like Valentine, you still need to show up with something. Even if it's their favorite flavor of, it doesn't need to be flowers or chocolate. If you know they don't care much for that and you don't want to partake in the holiday, then go home with takeout from your favorite restaurant. You both get to eat instead of a cookie. Or take a favorite milkshake, a favorite fruit. There's different ways to partake in Valentine without partaking into the Hallmark holiday, as people call it. But if you're showing up with nothing at all, that's a disappointment. And they are allowed to have their expectations fucked up because they expected something. And it didn't have to be expensive. I mean, you could even, these papers, you fold, you get a card, you write some love note, put in an envelope and give, and it says, I love you every day than I do today. I think about you every day more than I think today. I'm grateful that we're here together. That shit, that's all. So stop saying Hallmark holiday, they just want our money, and she stop making excuses. And I'm done. Mic drop. There goes my TED talk.
Okay, note yourself. One thing that has kind of a little bit helped me somewhat when I remember this thought, you will never experience the same moment twice. Ever, with anything.
So true, and that's why I am constantly taking pictures and videos, because that moment, even if you go back again a year ago, it's gonna be a different moment. It's the same place, same time, but a different moment, a different feel. So, especially when you're experiencing it for the first time together, that gives a whole other different thing. And people take these things so lightly, but there's more to it than the surface level. And I feel like if you care about somebody and you know you love them throughout the year and you show them love, so why aren't you doing it on that one day, even if it's coming home with one rose?
So I want to transition from the Valentine's Day. Now I'm crying again, but we're gonna wrap this up shortly. But I'm gonna go on a little tangent when you talked about pictures. But I am someone who is huge on taking pictures, and my Mimi growing up was the same way. And a lot of people in the family used to give her a hard time because she always wanted to take a picture, even before smartphones were a thing. And the last photo I have of her and I is my favorite photo. It's my cover photo on Facebook. You'll see it on all my social media. It was my 8th grade graduation, and it's just her and I. And we were already back from my graduation. She was in her wheelchair at this point, and she was changed, and she was in a T-shirt that had a Mickey Mouse on the side, and she didn't want to take a photo because she didn't want that to be seen, because she wasn't in her nice outfit. And she's like, we already got some at the church. And I'm like, but Paula's in those, and I want at least one, just you and me, because her and I were always so close. And now I have that on a necklace. I have it in earrings. And that's something I will cherish for the rest of my whole life. And that's one of the biggest reasons I'm huge on photos. And that's also why I started to cry. So we are going to have P on again. Do you have anything to say on the photos before I fully wrap up?
Yes, I'm the same person because I believe that you can have the moments forever, but you'll never have those people forever. Imagine if you didn't have that picture with Lee and Lee passed away yesterday, right? Yes, you have the moment, but now you're like, I can look at the moment, I can talk about it. So when you're gone, your people, if you leave your kids and their grandkids, they don't have that person that you talked so much about for them to tell their kids about because there's no picture. So that's why I'm also big on taking pictures with everybody and everything, and I literally print pictures and my old place, my entire wall, and I'll send you that video once we get off, was pictures, 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 and framed of my articles. I framed my articles, I framed everything. Like, I'm a person who spends so much money in printing sheet. Am I still here? Okay. No, it came to me and said recording stopped. Wait 2 minutes. Okay. I'm the person who will print shit and put it up there. And even my friends, when they hate it when I bug them about pictures, and once they see them or anything, they're happy about them. Because sometimes these days, some of my friends back home in Tanzania, when they pass away, and I look back and I'm like, oh my God, I don't have any pictures. And how am I gonna tell my kids about this person who meant so much to me, but I don't have one picture to show them who they are or what they meant to me? Like, so pictures are important. Take pictures, record everything, every moment. You can be in the moment while also documenting the moment.
I completely agree with that. I I completely agree with that. I did want to also throw in there, regardless of if you like what you look like or you don't like what you look like, if especially if you are a parent or a grandparent, there's gonna likely be a point where your kids and your grandkids, that's all they have left of you. So that being said, take the picture. I am also that same I am also that same person that at all these family functions, even the photos I'm not getting in, saying to my aunt and my cousins, let's go, get in a photo. Yes, yes, another one. Because we don't know when it's going to be your last Christmas with your kids. You don't know. I don't know. So that was my tangent. I also wanted to say one more thing before I let you go on whatever you have to say, not like leave, but a good friend of mine, his father passed away, about 6 to 8 months or so ago. And he posted a photo of his dad and his dad with his niece because he didn't have any photos of him and his dad. And he said that in the caption when he posted that. And that was a reminder to me why I am going to continue taking a lot of photos of people. I even took a photo of Lee and Zach that day on my phone when people were taking photos. Like, different people wanted photos with Lee, and I was still there. And I took a few pictures of that because you never know, even if somebody's not sick, when's going to be the last time you see them,
Can
and
you send
when
me that picture
a
of
picture or a
Lee
video
and
or
Zach?
anything like that is all you
But
will have
also
left
to
of them.
say that
So,
that's exactly the same reason with
yeah, it's a nice one.
podcasting. That's why I tell people, like, I have been blessed. I've had my sister, I've had my brother, I've had my dad and mom, and my bonus mom on my podcast. I'm trying to get my younger brother Alvin on my podcast, but it's also like when I had my mom. So on Mother's Day, this is the longest episode I did. It was like 3 hours. So I had to do part one, two, and three. Part one was my mom talking about her finding out about me, like a pregnancy with me and the child I am. And then the middle part was my friends answering questions about being parents. I had new parents, I had parents with 2 kids, I had parents with 3 kids, I had parents with newcomers, like about to be parents, just to get their output, because I wrote like 6 questions and everybody picked a question to answer 2 questions, and I combined them like that, and I'll just put in the answer. And the last part was my bonus mom, who's married to my dad right now, and I talked about her getting involved with a man who already has kids and being that role of a stepmother. I don't like calling it a stepmother because she really is a bonus mom to me and I love her. So I have that. And then I have my dad. This was during when Kobe just died, and God, that was the hashtag. And my dad raised me, so we talked about raising me and the struggles and the. Because even if my parents die today, knock on wood, God please, but it's the reality. They're gonna die, or I might die before them. But my kids can listen to their voices, can hear them talk, share the stories, even without them being there. So this is why I also tell podcasters, try record conversations. Depending on the podcast you have, some people have coaching podcasts, so they can't bring their parents or anything. But record, even if you don't post it, record those conversations. That way, like me, I don't have a child right now, right? And who knows by the time I have if my parents are still gonna be around. I'm hoping they are. But even if they don't, they get to hear them share about me and get it, even though I explain it, but they get to hear them from their voices and everything. So that's why podcasting, how big and important podcasting is the same as pictures and videos. So record, take pictures and all that shamelessly and as much as you need to, because you rather have that shit than once they're gone you regret not having that, because regret is a motherfucking bitch. Hey, I have. Wait, let me check this.
Regret will last a lifetime.
Wait.
Okay.
All right. You see, this is one of talk shit with Billy
I am
says.
gonna
And what does it on?
fuck regrets. I love it. Oh, she's flipping her middle finger off. Yes, on P's mug. But we are going to start to wrap up here, and we will definitely be hearing from Paula P on the podcast again, so you can stay tuned for that. But I end my podcast with 2 segments. Have you heard of Jay Shetty?
He has a podcast. Is Jada Pinkett's best friend?
Do you know he has
or
a podcast
something?
on
and
purpose?
He's No, I know. I'm saying Jay Shetty himself is besties with the Smiths, Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, and he has been on the round table. His my meditation. He talks about life and everything. I know Jay Shetty. I've even had his book, but I never read it because I had a fire and the book got burned.
I'm a Genius member. Oh, I have not read his book yet either. Well, anyways, he ends his podcast with 2 segments, and I have started taking these 2 segments and ending mine with them. First segment is the many sides to us, and now each question needs to be answered in only 1 word, okay? Number 1, what is 1 word someone who is meeting you for the first time would use to describe you as?
I don't know. What's 1 word you would describe me since you recently met me? I'm curious. I want to hear.
You can't ask me. Well, you answer the question and then I'll give you my answer.
I am fun.
I thought fun.
But you met me in a pool party, so
when I first met you in person, because you were dancing around. Well, even when we first connected virtually, I would say sweet. You were so sweet to me. And I was like, I love her. I'm meeting P. That's why I even ran over to you. I didn't run over to anybody that I met virtually.
PodFest meetup recently, the pod labs that happened 2 days ago, where you went to the Tampa meetup, but in the morning we had the online meetup, and they gave me the stage to talk and share about my award and everything. And as I was talking, I was like, Lee, so many people were coming to hug me. And then, because I was talking about you, I was like, Amanda just showed up and hugged me and then pulled my tag and then hugged me again. And then Lee was like, but Paula, you told everybody you love hugs and they should come and hug you. I'm like, yes, I know, I said it, but like, I really got what I asked for. Speaking of that, people, if you listen to Amanda's 30th episode where she described that I
Be
was
careful what
drunk
you
while
ask
we
for.
met, I was not drunk yet because I met her before going to Ambassadors Meetup, and I literally just landed and I was in my room creating all this merchandise. Yes, I had wine in this, but I was not drunk yet. I went to an Ambassador Meetup, I drank some more, and then I came back to the pool party where I met up with the moped boys, and then they started giving me shots. That's when I got drunk. But when Amanda met me, I was not drunk. She just wasn't used to my energy at that moment, so she thought I was drunk. Continue. I had to.
Thank you for clarifying. Number 2. What is one word someone who knows you very well would use to describe you as?
Kind heart, kindred spirit, kindred spirit. Kindred spirit, is that one
One
word?
word.
Kindred spirit, because
One
that's what it's
word.
called, kindred spirit. It is a word, kindred spirit. Because you can't just say kindred.
Maybe it is. I don't know.
No, kindred spirit.
I thought it was 2. I
Because
was thinking it was 2.
I'm very sweet. I'm very thoughtful
Okay.
and nice and sweet. And I'm always there for people I fucking care about. So
I completely agree. I would describe you as that. What is one
exhausting.
word you'd use to describe yourself? Okay. What is one word that someone who didn't like you or agree with your mindset would
Bitch.
use to describe you
I've
as?
had that too many
And not like a
times.
random internet troll
She's a
that doesn't
fucking
know
bitch.
you. What is one word you're trying to embody right now?
Empower. I want everybody around me to feel empowered and that I empower them to be the best they can be. Because I strive to empower myself. So I'll say empower.
Second segment. These can be answered in up to a sentence. Number 1.
Sorry, what
What is
was
the
one
best
piece of
piece of
advice I did what?
advice you've heard or received? The best. What is the
Show
best
up.
piece of advice you've heard or received?
You gotta show up in order for people to show up for you. Oh, so between show up and bet on yourself, you gotta bet on yourself always, no matter how fucked up it feels. Bet on yourself because nobody's gonna bet on you until you start betting on yourself.
Number 2. What is the worst piece of
Fake it till
advice
you make
you've
it.
heard or received?
There's no winning in that because if you imagine you right now, you're looking for a job in Tampa and shit, and if you didn't speak up and you're faking it till you make it, would you get the help you needed to get to where you want to be? So even though the culture keeps on saying you gotta fake it, I'm a firm believer in fuck faking it, cause nobody's gonna knock on your door if you're faking it, cause they seem like, oh, she's doing good. Why should I lend her a hand? Right? So I'm constantly gonna say I live paycheck to paycheck, so come help me.
I need you to fucking come help me. I ain't faking it, but I want to make it. And I'm going to make it.
I love that. No, but you're right. That also, if you, it reminds me of, and I want to share this in case y'all don't follow me on Instagram or you didn't see my story. This piece of advice that Paula shared with me, even though it's not her favorite, it's not the worst. I love it, and I'm interrupting her because she's done it. I've done it. Here we are. Paula said to me, she used to be a very independent woman who never wanted to accept help from other people. But then she started to realize she was blocking her own blessings. And it's great to be independent, but there needs to be a balance with accepting help and not blocking your blessings when opportunities show up. You know, Curtis Lee Thomas, a man I really worship, as you all have heard about him, founder of Breathwork Detox, has said to me,
Amen.
opportunities are never lost, they're simply given to other people. Next question for you, P. What is something
Having
that you
too
used to
many
value that
friends.
you no longer value?
I grew up thinking that being popular meant that you're winning, right? So the number of friends, knowing everybody. By the end of the day, it's having the right friends, even if it means one or two or three. But as long as the right friends for you, that's what that matters. So fuck having too many friends. Fuck having, like a society that doesn't put in. But just so we are at brunch or in the club with a big number of girls means no. I'm all about the right people over the quantity of the people in my life.
I love that. Number 4, if you could describe what you would want your legacy to be as if someone were reading it, what would you
I
want
would
it to say?
hopefully want it to say that me sharing my story and showing up authentically me made that person do the same. Because that's the whole point of my podcast and that's the whole point of me. I want more authentic people instead of the Instagram and the social media likes. Instead of, I want people to be true to themselves and true to their passion and stick to their core values. And I tend to do that. So if I die today and people say Paula's energy on social media and off social media was the same, and she impacted my life by doing that or some other thing, that's all I could ask for.
That's beautiful. And I can definitely attest to that for you, P. You have impacted my life in so many ways. And I would agree, you are the same person on social. I didn't know if you would be as fun as you were.
But you
I
hadn't
couldn't
really
tell through
followed me on
social media.
social
That's the
media. We
only thing
met
I'll
through
say. Not in a
Zoom.
bad way. You seem sweet, but I did.
Yeah, but I don't post as much
I
on
thought we were
Facebook
Facebook
compared to
friends. Didn't
Instagram.
we
Like, if
become
you really
Facebook
want to
friends
see my
before? But I
personality, Instagram is where my personality. And because my Instagram is connected to my Facebook page,
I'm
not
the
my
same
personal
way.
Facebook. So, but that's why I'm trying to be more active on Facebook now to bring it like into life because I already got Instagram and everything. But sorry, continue.
Okay. Last question. if you could create one law in the world that everyone had to follow,
Mind your
what would it
fucking
be?
business and
And I'm
let
going
people
to want
be.
to know
I think
why.
we are so concerned on what people are doing, who they are doing, why they're doing that, instead of spending that time into worrying on what the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing that? Who are you doing it for? So more concentration on you and less concentration on me.
Preach. Fucking preach. That was phenomenal. Thank you so much, P.
I don't
I
think that's
cried
my fault.
more
I
in
think
this
that
episode than I have ever cried on a
that has
podcast,
all
but
lead to
we're
do
here
on
for it.
that. So I know I don't make you cry because I've spoken to you so many times and I've never made you cry offline. So I'm not going to take credit on that. But I can't wait for the day I actually make you cry. Like in reality, I do. Like right now, I'm on a mission to make Mark from Empowered Podcasting Room to cry. So sometimes I do go on a mission to make people cry. But I know this was not on me. This was because of Lee and the emotions of that. And I'm not going to take credit on that, even though I want to. But the day I actually make you cry, the entire world will fucking know. I promise.
Oh my gosh. Okay, P. Oh my gosh. You kill me. Well, thank you so much, P. Is there anything else you want to leave the
Yeah, I
listeners
ain't
with
going
before we close
nowhere.
out?
And it's
But
fun.
we
I
will
ain't going
have P
nowhere.
back,
And
I
it's
promise
funny.
y'all.
As soon as this ends,
And we'll
even though
dive
I've
into
spent
something
1 hour
else.
with her, trust me, she's going to call me on my phone and spend another 2 hours of not doing shit, but just having me on the phone. But my advice would be is stay true to yourself, your purpose, and your core values. Because once you stay true to your purpose and core values, they will lead you to the communities that will take you for you, will love you for you, will nurture you for you, and will lead you to relationships out of this world. And that's what put me being myself, who knew this cussing little lady who does so much crap and shit would end up getting an award at PodFest. But people do see when you're authentically you and you're doing it out of love instead of expectations, when you're doing it from your heart and not expecting anything, when you're just pouring to communities that pour out to you. That's why showing up is important. If you want people to show up for you, you gotta show up for those people. You gotta consistently talk about those people and share about those people. And that's how me and Amanda ended up being friends. And until today, I think she's I've had PodFest members who have called and texted and shit, but she now hits number one on my top caller list and comment message list and voicemail list. But it gives you the connections you truly need, the right connections, where when you expect shit from them, it's valid. Cause I have high expectations for Amanda. My birthday is June 29, Amanda. I'm expecting some big ass shit. I don't know, but you gotta figure it out. So all that to say that is know your purpose, know your core values, and show up for those communities because they will pour back on you and you'll find your people by being authentically you.
Ah. Oh, I love
And
all
just to
that,
say this was
P.
not supposed to be an
I
interview
love
on
you. I
me.
love you so,
This
so, so, so
episode was
much.
supposed to be a
And
whole different conversation, but it's okay. I'll take one for the team. Again, this is all goes back to expectations. I was expecting a whole other conversation, but today we're gonna be kind to Amanda. She just came back from Tampa.
what were
She's
you
dealing with a death, so I'm gonna
expecting?
be a little bit nice. And that's why she keeps saying that I'm gonna come back because this was not originally supposed to be an interview on me. This was supposed to be a conversation on certain things, but it is what it
Yes,
is.
it was.
It was supposed. Do you know the
I'm
difference
still
between
interviewing
interview
you,
and
even though we're talking
conversation?
about certain things.
Interview is asking questions and questions. Conversation is having conversation. We were
I
supposed to have
do.
a conversation about a
But I
certain
combine the
topic
two.
that you bitched
And
out
Amanda's
about after
mindset.
getting. So on the next segment of
Amanda's mindset.
so
On
on the
Amanda's
next segment of
mindset, I
Manda's
interview
mindset.
while having conversations. That's how we do this
Continue.
here.
I did the intro for you. On the next episode of Manda's mindset.
Oh, I don't end with that. I don't end it with that. And we're going to leave it at that, guys. Thank you so much, P, for joining me on this episode. I know it was last minute, but I really appreciate you and I love you so, so much. And you guys can stay tuned for another episode of P. Not sure when that will be, but I'll let y'all know. In case no one told you today, I'm proud of you. I'm rooting for you. And you got this. As always, if you enjoyed the show, I would really appreciate it if you would leave me a 5-star rating, leave a review, and share it with anyone you think would benefit from this. And don't forget, you are only one mindset shift away from shifting your life. Thanks, guys. Until next time.